Dustin, with Joel's injury, I guess, kind of being something that's affected you guys now for a couple games, trying to play without him and figure out how to do that. What do you think's been the takeaway for you guys as a team, not having him on the court, what that means?
I mean, obviously it shows he's a big part of our team. For us, I think it was good to see us be able to pull out that last game with even some guys playing not necessarily very good. But it definitely shows how big of a part he is to this team.
What's your expectation with his status? How excited? Do you expect him to go? Or
I mean, I would expect him just because of the type of competitor he is. I mean, he's had quite a bit of time off to get that ankle right. But I guess we'll see how he's doing. I mean, he seems like he's pretty upbeat about playing. So we'll see, I guess, come out and practice today and then see what coach says.
what do you guys miss when he's not in there, as far as the flow of the game, the offense, or whatever?
I mean, he's our second leading scorer. I mean, most of the time he's up there number one. So that right there shows that that's a big chunk taken out of our offense. But then defensively, I think Nate did really good last game as far as getting to the point guard, picking him up early. But, Joel is very good at doing that as well. So, it's kind of a two-headed monster that we're kind of missing out there.
Justin, Coach was talking a little earlier about rebounding, and it seems like you've made more of an effort this year to get involved on the boards. How do you feel like you've done in that respect, and can you still get better?
Yeah, I can definitely get better. Ask all the coaches, and I can for sure get better.
But do you feel like you've improved in that area?
Maybe. Honestly, defensive rebounding is kind of where I'm getting most of my rebounds. And for coaching them, they want me to get to offensive glass more. But I think I've done a little bit better job of getting to the boards instead of kind of leaking out more.
When you watched the tape of the Davidson game when you hit 7 threes and then the Tennessee game when you didn't shoot well, was there anything different, or is it just a matter of one night shots didn't go?
Honestly, I didn't watch the Tennessee game. I don't even remember if we played that game or not. So, obviously we watched clips and stuff from it, but, it was just one of those nights. I knew certain things I did in the Tennessee game that, whether it was fading on some of my shots or not holding my follow through, whatever it might be. There were definitely some things that I did differently, but then there were just some shots that they just weren't falling for me. So, got back in the gym. And got to get right back out there again.
Understanding that every game is important because you only get so many to play, but you get more juiced up when you're playing a team like Kentucky.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's probably one of the best teams we've played so far. Don't want to take anything away from all the other teams we've played, but I mean, this game has been marked. I'm pretty sure for both teams for a while. So, being on that type of stage, being in Vegas, being two really good teams, I mean, I think it'll definitely be a game to get up for.
Justin, at this point in the season, have you considered that you, Joel, and Theo are providing that quote-unquote senior leadership and not so much Isaiah and Kennedy, and is that a bad thing?
I think it's just the different types of people. Isaiah doesn't really say much. Nate will say stuff. Kennedy will say some stuff, but I think it's just, kind of the type of people. I think me and Joel, I mean, it's hard to say Theo so far because he's not really out there with us yet. But, on the sideline, he definitely does a really good job of doing that. But I think me and Joel, we just kind of taken that, we're just taking it by the horns. So, I think it's kind of a collective effort. But I think everybody respects me and Joel enough that they don't really look at the fact that we're juniors and not seniors. And so, that's always good.
I mean, and you're definitely leading by production, but vocally and emotionally as well, you would put yourself in that category?
I think I've gotten better at being Joel is definitely gotten better at being vocal. So, us two freshman year and even kind of last year, we weren't very vocal at all. And so I think coming into this year, we knew we had to, like you said, be kind of that productive leader, but also be a little bit more vocal whenever we needed to. So, I think we can still do better, but I think we're doing a pretty good job right now.
Justin, Joe had mentioned, this is a couple weeks back, that he thought the guards were doing a better job of stopping the dribble drive, and that was allowing you guys not to have to help quite as much. How do you think that's going this year? And I know against Kentucky with their dribble drive approach, do you think that'll be a big factor?
It'll be huge. I know against Kentucky, I did a terrible job on Hubs as far as him getting into the middle of the paint, being able to score. And so, little things like that, they got guards. They can really break you down off the dribble. And so we all just got to take a stance and take responsibility for ourselves. So it'll definitely be key because they also have some pretty good shooters. So it'll definitely be key to keep them out the paint so it's not a bunch of driving kicks for threes and stuff like that.
Do you think the team had done a pretty good job the first 10 or 11 games?
I think we have. Obviously we can always do better. But I think we've done a decent job as far as, teams that we know that like to shoot threes, kind of keeping that driving kick type action, limited. So I think we've done pretty good, but I think we can still do a little bit better.
Justin, these are two programs that kind of cross-recruit players each and every one. Were you recruited by Kentucky, and how many of those guys do you know from maybe AAU ball?
I was never really recruited by Kentucky, but some of these guys, honestly, a lot of their guys are younger guys, so I didn't really play against them. But I know Isaiah, he was, I guess he was my same class. Fox played on my AAU team for a year. So, some of the guys I've definitely seen and I've played with or against a couple of them. Obviously they're great players, and we'll definitely have to get ready for them.